Hey, this is Geoff Thorpe from Vicious Rumors, and you're watching CMS. Keep it heavy.
Cool.
CMS TV, that is.
It is CHRIS Akin Presents. I, of course, am Chris Akin, and today on the show, I am super glad to see this guy back in action. One of my all-time favorite bands, as you guys know that have listened to me over the years, is the Mighty Vicious Rumors. They were supposed to be, I think, already done with their tour, but because of an injury that it got pushed back, but it's getting ready to start. It starts February 25th out there in Orlando. And here to talk all about the tour and maybe a little bit about the album and other things, it is the great Geoff Thorpe. Geoff, how are you, man?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me back, Chris. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Well, dude, before we even talk about music and tours and shows and all that stuff, I got to ask the obvious. How are you doing? How's the shoulder?
I'm very lucky, blessed. How you look at it, man. It's been 5 months now, a little over 5 months since it happened, and I'm doing great. I had, excellent medical care when I was in Germany, and I had a great therapist for 3 months who really helped me to kind of get back. And so I'm really thankful, man. Like I'm moving pretty good. I can play really well, quite, pretty much with no trouble there. I'm still, it takes about a year, man. It takes about a year and a half for this thing to really solidify. So it's still a little tender, but the guys are going to help me. The band's really excited to hit the road again, and it's time to get back on the horse and ride, man.
Right on, man. Well, let me ask you this, and this is just as somebody that tinkers with a guitar, doesn't play for real, but I imagine I've broken my shoulder at one point too, and I know it takes forever to heal.
Yeah.
Playing guitar, you have that weight, and people don't think about a guitar being heavy necessarily, but that weight on a sore shoulder, has that made you change even how you hold the guitar a little bit or how you play, or are you fighting through it?
I just took a drill and routed out about 8 pounds out of each guitar. No, I'm just kidding. um, uh, luckily, it's funny. I don't know. Luckily, with my left shoulder is fine, and so the strap is here. And really, I haven't really, doing a gig is a lot different than rehearsing. Like
Sure.
so, like it's still a little bit of a mystery. And as the dates get closer, there's like 60 dates booked. So like the mountain of dates gets bigger and bigger every day that I look at it, but I'm excited to do it. And actually, like, it doesn't really affect me that I noticed yet anyway. I you know I want to be able to perform and just get out there and rock out with everybody. And when I plan on doing that. And we got a great set, and the band's pumped up for it. And like you said, we had to postpone everything from last September, and it was really frustrating for us because, man, we were like top 5 positions on the NACC college radio for like 5 weeks. We were like number 3 and number 2 and number 4, and we didn't quite. Halloween kept us out of number 1, but we made it up to number 2, and we'd really never done that before. And so the album has been received really well, and we're just excited, man, to get back and perform. And I feel bad how much the guys are going to have to help me on the tour, because it's tough on tour. There's a lot of stuff to do. You're constantly moving and doing stuff, and now it's going to be a little harder for the other guys. But they have a great attitude about it, and they want to do it. Larry, Chalice, Denver, and Robin and Steven, everybody is just, gone out of their way to tell me, like, man, I'm carrying your guitars. Don't worry about it. Like, so I feel like pretty good going into it.
Very good, man. Well, you certainly have a killer record to go into it and feature. An Abusement Park, fantastic. It showcased Chalice for the first time, and what a voice. I don't know what else to say. I don't know how you, and maybe you will start here before you even talk about Chalice. How is it that you so regularly find these guys that have amazing range, but range that could fit your band? Because there's a lot of guys that can sing, but doing what Vicious Rumors has a very distinct vocal sound, and while everybody's a little different, Carl or Rivera or whomever, they all seem to have that feel, which I'm imagining comes from you and Larry's direction. Talk a little bit about that, man, and what you look for when you are auditioning a vocalist.
Well, absolutely. Carl left some incredible framework for these guys to work with. Like it always kind of starts with him, and so. But at the same time, it's like an impossible pressure to put on somebody, because he was just a one of a kind of singer. But I just keep an eye out for guys that strike me, say something to me with their singing or with their voice, or when I hear their voice, I think like, wow, that could work with us. And the main thing nowadays, I tell you, after 47 years of heavy metal on the road, it's like I also need somebody that I can chill with for the other 23 hours of the day. So that's super. That's like now that has become like just as important to me. So it just has to be right all the way around. Like everybody in the band, like we're sacrificing stuff. We work hard to do this because we love it. We love the action with the fans. We love the music and everything. But if you don't, if your brother sitting next to you, man, is like not in a good vibe, or like, it doesn't feel like that, then everything becomes a lot more like a job or more like work, or, and man, I want to do this with my brothers, man. I want to go out and rock and us together as a team and just hit people real hard together as a force and feel good about it, man. I don't mind working 15 hours a day if it's for some bros I love, what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the main thing, talent, a voice, a look. I kind of look for the whole thing, I look for the whole package. And it's funny, as I think I mentioned to you before, Chalice reached out to me about 6 months before I was looking for a singer, so that he was kind of on my radar. And I basically I was just like, I hadn't even really heard him sing yet, because I wasn't looking for a singer, but I just thought, man, that guy looked really cool.
Right.
Let's see if he has a voice to match, and boy, he sure does. I mean, and we did a European tour already where I broke my shoulder, so we got to we experienced the road together there for a month, and he just sang his ass off, man. He didn't have one rough night, really. I mean, we did a lot of shows back to back, a lot of traveling. That was really the last test, man. It's like, can you do it night after night? When you're a natural like he is, you can, and that's the whole thing. He doesn't have to fake it or force it or something. He's just a natural, man. He's got a real gift,
Sure.
Hey, you. Why are you watching this with commercials? Go commercial free and unlock exclusive content. Become a VIP today on Locals, Substack, or Rumble Premium. Stop waiting.
Well, let me ask you this, Geoff, and again, tell me I'm full of shit if I am, because I may very well be. But you did this tour with Chalice, and he's a great singer, and I know that. But now you had to sit home for several months while you were working on your shoulder. Does that lead you looking at Chalice's work, since he's the new guy, and saying, well, I love this, but I'd really like if you added this, because you have a lot more time to really dissect it than you might at any other time.
Absolutely. And he does that too. You know what I mean? So like we kind of both have been like dissecting stuff. I thought this worked really well. And so that's absolutely hitting the nail on the head, man. Kind of gone through plans and stuff. And everybody we kind of already went through the phase of like feeling each other out live and kind of like the slight little awkwardness of just how new it was with each other and some of the little new things, and we worked through that very quickly, and we're really firing during the last tour. So I'm expecting we're going to start in Florida. I'm going on a couple days early.
Okay.
And we're going to have some rehearsals in Florida, and so I think with the backbone that we already have and a couple nice long rehearsal days, and then we're just going to hit the road running, man.
Right on. Now, Geoff, it's been said in the press that you've kind of promised this, and I'm going to hold you to this. You've promised classics, but you promised some deep cuts, and as well as obviously some new album tracks. There's 14 records to choose from at this point. It's hard to find a deep cut that everybody's going to relate to. I'm not saying it's hard to find a deep cut, but it's hard to find something that will connect with everybody.
Absolutely.
Will we hear stuff from like Warball or Cyberchrist from those eras of the band that, that us really hardcore people know?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, you just gave me a great idea for some Warball stuff, because I've been kind of looking back at that album too. And yeah, we have a long set. We're playing I think 4 or 5 songs off the new album, and mixing it in with a set. And so yeah, that's okay. You lit the deep cut fire under me, Chris.
Good.
You lit the deep cut fire. So I'm gonna have to come up with something good for you.
Very good. Well, you always bring it, man. Look, and I'm probably your easiest fan in the world. As long as I get "Don't Pray for Me," I'm good. I'm kind of good because I love all of it. But I know I like so many people. I came on that record, and that record to me is the godlike record. I know "Digital Dictator" is what a lot of other people say. For me, it's that one.
Thank you.
But
thank you very much, man.
Absolutely. Well, dude, let's talk about at least one of the stops on the tour. You're hitting the hometown in March at the DNA Lounge. And no secret, you are one of the Vicious Rumors is one of the pioneers of San Francisco sound. Maybe because you weren't as thrashy as Testament or Death Angel or Metallica, obviously. You never got that kind of love, but people still, when they talk about San Francisco metal, they talk about Vicious Rumors. Does playing the hometown, is it a different experience than everywhere else? And if it is, what makes it so, other than just friends and family?
Mm-hmm. Well, we don't play, we don't play at home very often,
Okay.
So when it's always a bit of a strange feeling when we go on tour. And then like this time is again like last time, where we're on tour, and then like a couple of weeks into the tour we play at home like in the middle, and then like play the gig and then just leave. I'm like, wait a minute, my house is that way, but
Right.
and then we keep going. So it is an exciting, I'm truly honored to be part of such a special time in music and history in the Bay Area. It's one of the reasons I moved here from Hawaii.
Okay.
I moved here because I felt like the Bay Area was going to be just a place where I could be comfortable coming from a laid back place like Hawaii.
Sure.
Rather than going like straight to New York or something like that. I'm just like, I think I'm going to kind of go with the West Coast vibe,
Right.
just to be a little bit more, familiar with my background. But it's special for sure because, when all those bands you mentioned, Vicious Rumors, Death Angel, Testament, all those bands got started, we just kind of felt like it was a scene just like everywhere else in the United States. And
Sure.
and I'm sure there was to an extent, but we didn't know at that time the whole world was going to look to the Bay Area for this sound,
Mhm.
and to be part of that is really incredible. And it's happened here in the Bay Area, throughout time. Of course, like in the 60s, you got your beatnik
Yeah.
jazz kind of stuff. The 70s, you had your Janis Joplins and
Mhm.
Jefferson Airplanes, and then the 80s came along, and all of a sudden, this birth of thrash and sort of power metal. I love like seeing thrash bands and stuff. But honestly, like I don't sit around listening to a lot of thrash music. I'm more of a song-oriented guy. Like
Mhm.
I love my classic rock and my classic heavy metal, and
Right.
and um and a lot of times people have said, don't you feel like, you guys didn't get the respect you deserve or shit like that? It's just, I don't feel that way, man. I just feel like, the cards fell where they did. And, we played the music that we loved, that we were passionate about.
Mhm.
And I think if you're, as an artist, if you're not true to yourself, then I think fans can see right through that, So maybe some people fake it so good people don't
Sure.
notice. But, for me, I love heavy metal. I love all kinds of music.
Mhm.
And I like to incorporate a lot of different styles in Vicious Rumors over the years. And where if I called myself like a thrash band or a death, it's a little limiting to me.
Mhm.
And I want to be able to do a lot of different stuff.
Right. And ultimately I think what you see as a strength, which I do too, because it makes the records more listenable, at that moment in time might have been the weakness, because at that moment in time everybody was looking. There was two things, and I lived out there right at that time, so I remember going to the Omni and the Stone and Ruthie's and all these great places. But the
Yeah.
rest of the country didn't have that. Like there was always, look, I was stationed out there at Fort Ord there down
Yeah.
in, and I used to drive up on Saturdays, and I never knew who was playing. We didn't have the internet then. I didn't know. We would literally just pick a club, and you guys might be there, or whoever might be there. It might be somebody that nobody ever heard of again, the Psychedelic Cowboys or something. It was always craziness, but there were so many thrash bands. And I think for you guys, because you weren't a thrash band, I think the people that weren't seeing you guys and seeing how great you guys truly were live might not have thought that. They thought you weren't as heavy as Testament and those bands. And at that moment in time when Metallica, that was what, And Justice for All type Metallica, and Rust in Peace, Megadeth, and Slayer was everywhere.
Yeah.
Testament was hitting their stride. I think it
Sure.
was just the wrong moment. I think if you guys would have even come out 2 years earlier or 2 years later, you might have had a bigger rise. What do you think?
I think that makes a lot of sense because, when we got signed to Atlantic Records, was a real changing of the guard with the, Nirvana and the
Mhm.
whole grunge scene. I've often thought that, like, oh, what if, when, if you're going to look back and wonder why or wonder if what could have been, what would have happened if we would have got signed like in '86 or something
Yeah.
instead, It was just a rip roaring time when heavy metal was, king of everything,
Right.
Your daily metal fix is on Rumble. Watch the Classic Metal Show episodes free or go commercial free with a premium subscription. Find your Classic Metal Show now at rumble.com/metal. rumble.com/C/CMS, rumble.com/C/CMS.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to look back at it, but you know what though, man? In a weird way, I think everything works out for whatever reason. And you guys, like, obviously you didn't reach the Metallica heights. I don't think anybody did. But you've always been that respected band. When people say Vicious Rumors, nobody follows it with, oh man, those guys suck. No one that is a metal fan says that. They may not be totally into what you do, but they respect what you do. And that is
Appreciate that, man.
But looking at it now, in 1988, I'm sure you were like, well, fuck you. We are better than everybody else. But now, 47 years later, I think you probably respect it more because you can look and say, I cut out a career that was solid, and no one can take that away from me for half a century.
Brother, when I think about the way, just to hear you say those words to me, man, it's like I got a little fucking rush, bro, because it's everything for me, man. I invested my life in it.
Sure.
I sacrificed a lot of family stuff. I mean, but they understood though that I had something that I was really passionate about. So I was lucky and I had the support from my family. But just to hear you say that, thank you so much, man. I mean, I often when people ask me, like, how have you done it? How have you guys kept it going for 47 years? And it's just, I surround myself with guys that run on passion, and that's kind of what the band does. And I don't know how we've been able to last this long, and like it's just unbelievable, man. Like, here we are about to do. I didn't tour this hard when I was in my 20s, man. I mean, we have been doing these big, long, major tours. Right now, we got about 60 shows booked.
Wow.
We're negotiate massive U.S. and European tours, and we're in negotiations with Asia and the U.K. right now for this year to just add on to it. So it's exciting for me. I feel so I guess you would just say blessed, man, because this is just what I wanted to do with my life, and it's one of the hardest industries there is. It's so much competition, and it's just it's a difficult shark-infested water, man. But I love it, and I've been just had a great time. I can't wait to see everybody on the road all over the country, and man, it's just going to be a blast. We're gonna celebrate heavy metal on the highest level every night.
Very good, man. Well, the tour starts February 25th in Orlando, Florida. Make sure you're there, Orlando. Don't be lame. And the last thing, Geoff, before I wrap it up, and I've asked you this before, I'm going to ask you it again. We try to tell everybody on this show, if you're going to stream it, go ahead, experience what it is, but buy something. Buy a shirt, buy a hat, buy a vinyl, buy a keychain, whatever's for sale. Where do we send them to buy stuff from you guys?
You can buy it directly from us at Greyhaven Merch, and that the address for that is right at the top of our Facebook page.
Okay.
So that Greyhaven Media and VR Merch, it's right there. Email address. We got a bunch of stuff there, and I just had some really killer new Devil's Asylum hoodies and shirts, and we did a couple of classic takes on Digital Dictator and Soldiers of the Night, but with all the tour dates and the whole vibe of the new tour, the Devil's Asylum, on the back. So we got a lot of great stuff for everybody, and it's so important, man, because the merch is how we survive, man.
Right.
Just to pay the bills, and it's crazy touring. So anytime people support the band with the merch, it's really fantastic. And we're not a hard band to meet or to talk to. Like, we're one of the things we really enjoy, in fact, is just meeting the fans that come to the show. So come on up. If you see us, come on up and talk to us. I'll be at the merch booth a lot of the times when we're not playing, and so the rest of the guys. And man, we're just looking forward to, having a cheers and a prost and a toast together, and just rocking hard as we can, man.
Right. But don't be lame at that merch booth. Buy something while you're standing there chatting. How's that? Buy
We
something.
appreciate that, man.
All right, Geoff. Well, one more time, Vicious Rumors out on tour, 60 dates so far. I'm sure by the end of it, it'll be like 80 plus, which is fantastic. Starts February 25th in Orlando, Florida. Make sure you're there. And Geoff, this is always fun, man. Thanks for joining me here on CHRIS Akin Presents.
Chris, thanks so much, brother. See you again soon, my friend.
Get more metal in your inbox. The Classic Metal Show is on Substack. Listen or watch for free, or subscribe for VIP exclusive content. Find us at cmspn.substack.com.